but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you.
I'm gonna do it again, because I got to break Kevin's new record. I got to get back on the stage, because this new record that Kevin got, I got to have it back, Kevin.
Eddie, what the fuck are you doing? Get on stage. I don't know, man. Maybe.
Kevin Hart is not who you think he is. The king of comedy is now being exposed by legends who once stood beside him. Katt Williams shattered the illusion. Eddie Murphy is about to drop a bomb. And Dave Chappelle warned us all years ago, but we ignored it. What if Kevin Hart's rise was not just talent, but a dangerous Hollywood deal? What if the biggest laughs came with the darkest secrets? This is not just a comedy feud, this could end Kevin Hart. And after watching this, you will never see him the same again.
Deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
Let us talk about Eddie Murphy, one of the most respected, cool-headed legends in entertainment. He is not the type to jump into petty drama or sling accusations for clout. If Eddie is circling this fire, then there is something very real and very serious brewing behind the scenes. Eddie and Kevin have worked together before, they shared laughs, projects, and showed mutual respect. But history is not stopping Eddie from stepping away and calling out what he sees as strange. And if Eddie Murphy thinks something is off, people are paying attention. Rumors have been bubbling for years that Kevin did not just work hard, he worked the system. That he might have played politics so perfectly in Hollywood that he pushed others out to climb up. What started as whispers is turning into a collective realization. Maybe Kevin's rise was not all hustle, maybe it was strategy, or worse, submission. And this is not just about someone being competitive. The talk has a dark edge to it, allegations of cozying up to the right people, obeying silent rules, and letting others fall to stay ahead. Eddie Murphy has seen this machine chew up and spit out talented people. He knows when someone is moving too smooth through a dirty industry. And when he says it is strange, it means something real is happening. Add to that Katt Williams' explosive claims, and now you have a chain reaction. The legends are not ranting, they are testifying. And Kevin? He might be about to face a reckoning. The kind where silence is no longer protection, and where allies become whistleblowers. If Eddie speaks, it is not just a comment, it is a final warning to Kevin that the comedy kingdom might be preparing to dethrone its king.
Comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never.
Katt Williams did not hold back when he stepped onto the Club Shay Shay set. He did not throw a jab, he dropped a truth bomb that still echoes across the industry. With laser focus and calm intensity, he called Kevin Hart an industry plant, a term that hit like a punch to the gut. He detailed Kevin's meteoric rise in a way that made it sound like a scripted fairy tale with invisible hands pulling the strings. According to Katt, no other comedian in history landed a network sitcom and a lead movie role like Soul Plane. In their first year in LA, nobody. Not back then, not now. That kind of success, Katt implied, does not come from talent alone. It comes from access. From deals made in rooms most people never get into. From playing a role that serves the machine. And Katt did not just say it once, he repeated it with conviction. What do you think a plant is? He asked, shattering the room's energy. This was not a beef, it was a revelation. And the story goes back further than people think. In 2008, Katt was supposed to star in Fool's Gold, a major film. But legal trouble took him out of the role. Who replaced him? Kevin Hart, fast, quietly, and conveniently. That moment, Katt says, is when he knew the game was rigged. That Kevin was not just lucky, he was selected. And from that point on, Katt kept receipts. He watched as Kevin soared while others got sidelined. And he is not alone in feeling like the story of Kevin Hart is not just about jokes, it is about control, deals, and an unspoken agreement to play along. Katt's words were not just criticism, they were the opening scene of an expose.
I was actually one of those comedians that said, no, I wouldn't wear a dress. There's no way I would wear a dress. And then when proposed with...
But Katt Williams was not done after calling Kevin out. He was just getting started. He widened the lens and went after the entire Hollywood machine that elevates silence and obedience while punishing integrity. He said what many feel but fear to say, that in this industry, selling your soul is a currency. And once you do, your job is to pretend like you never did. That chilling line shook not just the room, but the internet. Because suddenly, Kevin's journey started to look less like a rise and more like a transaction. Katt pointed out a disturbing pattern, one that connects fame with humiliation, especially for black male comedians. He referenced the rumors about men being pressured to wear dresses as a sort of initiation ritual before truly leveling up in the industry. And Katt was not alone. Dave Chappelle, another titan, had said something eerily similar years before. Dave talked about how Hollywood tried to reduce him to a caricature, forcing him into roles that stripped away dignity in exchange for laughs. He too walked away from massive deals because he refused to become a puppet. He spoke of moments where his defiance sparked rewriting of scripts, angry producers, and strange pressure tactics, all because he would not wear a dress for a skit. These are not isolated stories. When more than one respected comedian calls out the same system, it is not coincidence, it is exposure. Kevin once stood firm too, claiming he would never put on a dress, that it went against his brand. But that promise did not last long. He broke his own word just a year later. And when he did, it was not just fans who noticed, it was everyone who had once believed he was cut from a different cloth. Now, they are asking, who is the real Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart broke your stand-up box office record.
What record did he break?
He said he broke some record of your box office sales for stand-up.
I don't know, what did he break?
Kevin Hart once stood tall on principles. He famously said he would never wear a dress on screen, said it was about protecting his image, his brand, his integrity. He even turned down a comedy sketch where he was asked to dribble a basketball while acting silly, saying it made him look like a clown. Back then, fans respected him for that. It felt like he was different from the rest, stronger, smarter, more grounded. But then came Saturday Night Live. 1 year later, Kevin appeared on national television dressed as a 9-year-old girl in a skit that shocked his core audience. The man who once claimed he would never sell out for laughs had now done exactly that. And just like that, the image he carefully built began to crack. When people called him out, Kevin got defensive. He claimed it was all his choice, that nobody forced him. He pointed to Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, and Tyler Perry as examples. But fans remembered what he said before the money came in. Kevin was supposed to be the one who said no. And now, the conversation shifted. Was this Kevin being funny? Or was it Kevin fulfilling a requirement? A requirement for fame? For access? For something bigger than a comedy sketch? Suddenly, it was not just about a dress, it was about a broken promise. It was about integrity, or the lack of it. People began to wonder, if he compromised this, what else has he compromised? His entire brand was built on hustle and self-respect. But now it looked like he was just another player in Hollywood's long, twisted game, where identity is currency, and silence is survival. And once the money started talking, Kevin's principals walked out the door.
15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his...
Kevin Hart's career exploded after that sketch. The deals got bigger, the spotlight never left. He became the face of comedy, the man in every movie trailer, the corporate-friendly entertainer everyone could sell. But behind the scenes, something else was happening. While Kevin was getting richer, people were watching his silence. Especially when Monique was under fire, blackballed by the same power players Kevin was cozying up to. She was speaking out against Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels. And Kevin? Silent. Which hit different, because not long ago, he called Monique a sister, a mother figure, someone he would ride for. On his podcast in 2021, Kevin gave her the space to tell her story. He nodded. He listened. He even promised to make calls, said he would reach out to Tyler Perry, offered to back her next project, and even offered to executive produce it. And Monique believed him. She told her team. They were excited. Kevin Hart backing a comeback project? That was huge. But then, just 2 weeks later, everything crashed. Kevin's manager pulled out. Meetings were canceled. Phone calls went unanswered. Kevin promised they would talk Tuesday. Tuesday never came. 2 years later, and Monique still waits. What happened? Fans started connecting the dots. Kevin said he barely knew Oprah, yet on Ellen, he bragged that she sent him flowers after his car crash. Not just any flowers, an entire jungle of them that overtook his dining room. So now people are asking, how do you get that from someone you barely know? Something does not add up. Maybe Kevin backed out of Monique's project not because he changed his mind, but because helping her meant risking his place at Hollywood's elite table. And Kevin Hart has made it very clear, he is not giving up that seat.
I seen your stuff on social media, boy, I know you what you do. But you do it for play.
Here to understand just how deep this runs, you have to go back to Monique's battle with Hollywood in 2009. After her Oscar-winning performance in Precious, she was asked to travel internationally to promote the film, for free. She declined. They paid her $50,000 for the entire movie and expected global press tours without compensation. She had a comedy tour, a talk show, and a family. She said no. And that one no became the reason they blackballed her. They branded her difficult, ungrateful, and shut every door. While Monique's career stalled, Kevin Hart soared. But his personal life was spiraling. His ex-wife Torrey Hart filed for divorce, citing repeated cheating. Rumors spread that Kevin had been involved with multiple women, including his now wife, Iniko, before the marriage even ended. Torre later revealed she helped Kevin build his brand, wrote jokes, developed material, and supported his grin from day one. Yet when he made it big, he gave her no credit. Worse, he turned her into the punchline of his stand-up. And the twist? Torre is now touring with Katt Williams, Kevin's loudest critic, not as a guest, but as part of his Dark Matter tour. She even posted a clip from Katt's Club Shay Shay interview, the same one where he ripped Kevin to shreds. When asked about it, Kevin played it cool, but you could see the tightness in his smile, the tension in his body. This is no longer just bad press, it is personal, public, and painful. Kevin may be the highest paid comedian in the world, but the world is starting to laugh at him, not with him. The betrayals, the compromises, the silence, it is all catching up. And now, with legends turning their backs and ghosts from his past resurfacing, Kevin Hart is not just under fire, he might be about to fall.